Giuseppe Garibaldi is known as one of the modern makers of Italy. Born in Nice, a French-controlled country at the time, by his parents Domenico Garibaldi and Maria Rosa Nicoletta Raimondi on July 4th. His family contributed to the coastal trade. This involvement helped Garibaldi to learn his passion for life at sea. This disappointed his father a bit, as he wanted his son to grow up to be a lawyer or a doctor. Despite his father's wishes, he later was certified in 1832 as a merchant marine captain.
In April of 1833 he traveled to Russia for 10 days. There he met Giovanni Battista Cuneo, who was a politically active immigrant and member of the secret La Giovania Italia, which means the Young Italy, which was a movement of Giuseppe Mazzini. Garibaldi became interested in the matter and joined the society and took an oath, dedicating himself to the struggle to liberate and unify his homeland free from Austrian dominance.
Giuseppe later became involved in a mutiny, which attempted to seize ships. His plan failed, which led him to fleeing to France. He was later condemned to death on June 3, 1834. Garibaldi si chiama l'eroe dei due mondi per le sue imprese militari compiute, sia in Europa sia in America meridionale. Lui è la figura più rilevante del Risorgimento, uno dei personaggi storici italiani più celebri al mondo ed anche un eroe nazionale per gli italiani.
In Geneva during November of 1833, Garibaldi met Mazzini, which started a long relationship that would later become troublesome. He joined the Carbonari Revolutionary Association, and in February of 1834 he participated in a failed Mazzinian insurrection in Piedmont. A Genoese court sentenced him to death in absentia, and he fled across the border of Marseille.
After many years in Latin America, Garibaldi returned to Italy and took part in Charles Albert's services in Sardinia. Albert wasn't a huge fan of Garibaldi's. They together crossed lands to Lombardy, where they offered their assistance to Milan's government. This is what led him to the First Italian War of Independence. The war was between the Kingdom of Sardinia and the Austrian Empire. This led to the two minor victories at Luino and Mordazzone.
After another defeat, Garibaldi decided to move to Rome to support the Republic in the Papal States. Mazzini urged Garibaldi to take control of the defense in Rome. The Republican army conquered a French army until more French recruits showed up. The French prevailed and Rome began to be sieged on June 1st. The Rome Assembly met and discussed three options: surrender, continue fighting in the streets, or retreat from Rome to continue resistance from the Apennine Mountains. Garibaldi favored the third option. In his words, "Wherever we may be, there will be Rome."
There was an uprising in Palermo. This provided Garibaldi with an opportunity to be the hero again. He gathered I Mille, the 1,000, which were volunteer war fighters. They called themselves the Red Shirts. They left May 5th and landed in Marsala, Sicily on May 11th. They fought on the hill on May 15th. This battle was helpful in deciding Garibaldi's power on the island. The next day he declared himself the dictator of Sicily in honor of Victor Emmanuel II of Italy.
On January 24, 1860, Giuseppe Garibaldi married an 18-year-old Lombard noblewoman, Giuseppina Raimondi. Immediately after the wedding ceremony, she informed him that she was pregnant with another man's child, and Garibaldi left her that same day of marriage. This was after the fact that his wife, Anna Ribeira de Silva, also known as Anita, had recently passed away after birthing their fifth child. Giuseppe loved Anita. She was such an independent woman, and she always stood by his side. They met during one of his exile trips in Brazil. They were traveling back to Italy when she passed. That was moving the mic around.
On October 5th, Garibaldi set up the International Legion, which brought together different national divisions of French, Polish, Swiss, German, and others. Together they had a motto: free from the Alps to the Adriatic.
During the American Civil War, Garibaldi volunteered his services to the current president at the time, Abraham Lincoln. He was offered a major general's commission in the U.S. Army. Garibaldi was to accept this offer only on one condition. The war's objective was to be declared as the abolishment of slavery.
Garibaldi died in Caprera, where he spent the remaining years of his life. On his deathbed he asked that he be moved to somewhere where he could gaze at the emerald and sapphire sea. He then died on June 2, 1882, at the age of 75. He was and still is buried on his farm on the island of Caprera, alongside his wife and some of his children. 5 ships of the Italian Navy had been named after him.